So I'll say this about the community event. I like it for the artists in my friend circle, right? Zerno, obviously he's here. Mammo, Rogarth, Red, even though, I mean, technically Red's already like, he's already involved in every freaking event, right? Some oldies come back with submissions, like I think Min did, and a couple others. But I think for the most part, and I've said that some people don't agree with me, but I've said this where like I'm a bigger fan of cohesive art style within the game. And I always use this as an example because it's the latest AAA MMO I played, but New World, where like it had its aesthetic, but then because of the cash shop, there were like unicorn mounts and like flaming lion mounts, and like it just didn't match the aesthetics of the world. And obviously SimpleMMO will never have that because of the avatar submissions, the custom artwork, the artist fluctuation for like being the main artist for the game. Though most of them are kind of, you know, I would say, you know, Ubi definitely differed from Pixel, and I would say Red and Ubi kind of have a similar style. We're just never going to have that in SimpleMMO. And so for me, while I like to see, you know, maybe upcoming artists in the community get to flex, get to submit, or like established community members, you know, who've been here for like freaking inception, and that's all they've done is pixel art. I feel like it's like the same old, and also it brings chaos to the kind of artwork being pushed into the game. I mean, we saw in the last event, like, you know, it can be, maybe abuse is a strong word, but it can be manipulated by the community, where like a bunch of them, you know, a bunch of artists were like, let's just do duck shit. And so people submitted a bunch of duck art, and yeah, it was like a flood of duck shit. No pun intended there. So that, I'm not a fan of it in that regard, where it's just like a bunch of differing aesthetics, differing styles, you know, being flooded through, you know, into the game through this event. I think it would be cooler, and maybe this like kind of cuts, you know, it cuts some of the players out from submitting, but I think it would be cooler if like SimpleMMO staff got together, you know, with Red, and we're like, what could be like a cool, almost seasonal, right? But like a cool overarching theme. So that way, you know, maybe Red is working in the background for like the background art for the community island, right? That doesn't really change besides NPCs, and, you know, they open the floodgates with reusing NPCs too from previous events, but, you know, some overarching theme that we're accustomed to with the seasonal events like Halloween and Christmas and Easter. So I think that'd be sick. Like, hey, for this year, we're doing dragons or something, you know, Dragonborn, Dragon Knight, Dragon Era fantasy. So submit, you know, Dragon Knights and Dragon NPC enemies and Dragon pets. You know, there's like that dragon, the hatched egg as a pet floating around the game, but like stuff like that, like a specific theme. And then at least, you know, even if it's differing quality from players submitting for the event, at least there's that overarching theme anchoring it to some type of reality when inputted into the game. So that's my thoughts on the community event, man. So I'm happy for people who participate in it, but as a player, I'm not stoked on it.